Welcome back to another episode of the Pickle Pulse. I am your host, Brian Green, and today we are going to be talking about LUXE Pickleball. So LUXE has been a company that has been around for a while, making paddles for the average consumer, not necessarily the high-level player. This is their first entry into a higher level paddle, and what I really like about it is the unique shape. I actually think that it looks quite cool. As a child of the 90s, I love the Bones peace sign on the face, so it looks cool. But as I was looking at all the holes on this paddle, I'm going, wow, the twist weight's got to be super low, and I'm wondering if this is going to be really tough to play with. So let's go through the specs of the paddle. It's a 16 millimeter carbon fiber thermoformed Gen 2 paddle. It is an edgeless design, so stop the video right now. If you don't like edgeless paddles, I promise you will not like this paddle because it plays very similar to the Selkirk Power Air minus the power, and also the double black diamond Infinity series as well. As I said, it's 16 millimeters. It comes in at 7.75 ounces, which I think the weight of it is one of the benefits to this paddle. It has foam-filled edges to increase the sweet spot. It also has open throat design for better air resistance and quicker hands. As a matter of fact, the open throat is down at the bottom, and then there's also 4 additional holes on the sides of the paddle, which causes this to be one of the fastest paddles I've ever felt in my hands. It has a 5.5 inch long handle and feels fantastic for the two-handers if you like to hit a two-handed backhand. There's plenty of room. Also, with the open throat, you can put your paddle or your finger inside the hole or just alongside of it. I found this paddle to feel really nice in the hands. The next thing you're going to notice about this paddle is the handle. It looks very traditional when you're just looking straight at the butt cap, but if you'll see here, it is a square handle. So it feels very unique in your hand when you're holding it. And I found, especially for like backhand punches and backhand rolls, it felt very easy to control the paddle. With it being really light, with it being air resistant with all the holes, I found it to be exceptional at the net and in dinking. So let's talk about the playability of this paddle. When I first grabbed it, my immediate reaction was, wow, this is going to be so light. It is going to be very difficult for resets. It's going to not have a ton of pop on it. And, you know, I wasn't quite sure I was going to like it at all. What I found after I played with it is that this paddle has a ton of control. I am a power-oriented player, and because I would put the pop and the power on this paddle at probably a 3 out of 10, it's going to be more than the LUXE, which feels like a pillow, but not near those top tier Gen 3 paddles when it comes to power and pop. So it immediately made me want to change my game. And so I hit a lot more drops with it, with a lot of topspin, and I wanted to get to the kitchen and hit dinks. I found that this paddle was a dink machine. I felt so comfortable. As long as my feet were in the right spots, I was not going to miss a dink, whether it be a two-handed topspin dink or whether it be a backhand slice, because I typically play a lot of left and I'm a right-hander. The other thing I noticed is from the baseline, when I was hitting my drives, they were dipping really nicely. And I think that's because the power on this paddle is so low that even though I was swinging as hard as I could and getting the topspin that I normally would, it wasn't going as fast, and therefore it was dipping over the net and creating a bit of chaos there as well for a lot of drive and crash putaways. The downfall to this paddle is like every other edgeless paddle out there in that you can feel everything. So if you're a person who's played with an edgeless paddle and really enjoyed how that felt, I think this is a great paddle for you because you're going to get immediate feedback on all of your shots, whether you hit it plush in the sweet spot right in the center or you hit it a little off center. The paddle is going to tell you. The nice thing is the sweet spot is still large enough to easily get the resets over and to hit the shots that you want. I just found that when I missed badly, I really felt it, and then the ball showed it as well. There was some real benefits to this paddle, and that is your hands. The game of pickleball has gotten to a point where you have to have fast hands, and I get caught a lot if my paddle is a little heavier. With this being so light, and with me adding lead tape to both sides of this paddle, it is the fastest paddle I've ever played with at the net. I can't remember when I got body bagged using it, and if I did, it was off the net. So I found that I could do higher speed ups at people's shoulders and then be ready for the ball to come back and put it away, because I had a lot of confidence in my hands with this. Also, I had a lot of confidence in being able to reset the ball and dink. So it really was a soft game machine. LuxePickleball.com is where you can find this paddle. And if you use my code PULSE15, you'll get a 15% discount off of the paddle. It's $149.99, and with my code and the 15% off, it takes it down to $127.49. A great value on a premier level paddle. Now, again, I want you guys to understand what you're getting into here, and that this is not a power paddle. This is what I would call a very control-oriented paddle. And so if you like to play the softer game, if you like to hit drops and you want to get in dink battles, if you need faster hands or you're having some tennis elbow issues, I think this is definitely the paddle to check out. Also, if you've been enjoying the channel, please take a moment to like and subscribe, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys on the courts. Thanks.